Hello everybody, I hope you guys are doing well, having a great day or a great night. So in today's video we are going to take a look into a lot of things, and then we'll try to make sense about all of it. So we are going to ask questions. And so we are not up for opinions. Okay? What we want is the facts, what we want is to understand what is going on and to see beyond emotions, to see beyond what we shouldn't feel. Okay, because it's not a so the market, it's not for emotional people, right? So either we have one thing or either we have other. So we can mix logic, for example, math, facts with emotions, fear. It's pretty bad, right? And it all leads to bad decisions, which leads to tragedy and so on and on and on. So we're going to talk about these things step by step and ask questions. We will try to make sense. And in the end, or close to the end, I'm going to share something special with you guys that I know it is going to help some of you. And yeah, so as you guys know, I don't write scripts. It's just a lot of things. And I'm also out of time, to be honest. So let's get started and let's try to make the best out of it. Okay. So, like I mentioned on X, right now people are sad, people are scared to death, people are concerned. Consolidation is killing them, their trust, they think everything is going to fall. There is a lot of people who have no clue about technical analysis who are completely bearish, and it makes sense, right? It makes sense for them. Uh, and so, for people who are, let's say, lost or in between, it's really tough. It's really complicated. But we can join others, these people train, because it is going to be bad, right? So, for example, why I don't look into other people analysis, other people videos, so on and on and on, because I must be able to do this by myself on my own. Because if I can't, then I will have to follow, right? So what we want to lead. And what we are leading? We are leading our investments, our life. That's all this is about, right? So where we are heading to, what we are going to do, what we are going to achieve, what is the risk, what is the reward? That's what we are looking for. And before we jump into the charts, I'm going to ask you guys two questions that I want you guys to think about this. Who you are and what's your purpose on this life? Think about this, okay? So let's start with some news. So right now, actually they are in the way already, so it's happening already. We have US bombers, probably the B-2 Spirit, heading to a US base in the Indian Ocean, if I'm not wrong. It's Diego Garcia, if I'm not wrong. And then it is going to be the final step before they reach Tehran. Okay, so we don't know exactly how many B2 can be, probably 4. There is a big clue that can be 4. So if each one is carrying a GB 57, actually each B2 can carry 2. So if there is 4 bombers, then it's 8 GBs, which is pretty wild. Okay, so moving on. Oh, and by the way, this news, this event can have a short impact in the market, if I'm right, but this is just my opinion. There is no way to forecast this at this moment. So, right after we are going to have the Trump 90 days deadline on tariffs will expire in July, the first or the second week, I don't remember. So we are very close. And this is very, very significant for multiple reasons. The first, if the tariff war it's over, the markets are going to soar. So this probably is what Trump said to be the Trump card. Okay, so it's very, very close, and also the time frame is very let's say bullish. End of June, July, it's almost all the times it's a bullish period for the markets. So Trump is holding it. And I do believe he's going to too easy on this matter, and so the markets will resume upside movement. So this is another thing which is probably not news yet. I'm not sure. Uh, I don't even know if we can call this a forecast, but it's something that is highly likely to happen, which is the Republicans' party civil war, which means it is going to split. And we do know that each realm that is divided can't survive. Okay, so you guys can think what comes next about this. So it is not going to be bad. It is not going to be a good thing for Americans. Okay, we don't care about politicians. They all lie for a living. Okay, so to be honest, I hate politicians. But I do understand the difference between left and right. I do. Okay, so moving on. Now let's take a look into the charts. Dow Jones, let's start with Dow Jones. So what we can expect after all these events and most likely this bullish news that we may have in the coming days. So, okay. So GDI had, so this is Dow Jones, is a big indicator of the US economy if you're not aware. And just for you to understand, there is a lot of other economies, other countries that invest into the United States. It is not only a average Joe, you know. So it's pretty wild. And it is not only about the US economy health, but also many other countries' economic health as well. That's why we always look into the Dow Jones. So we had a bullish close or a good close yesterday, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, yesterday. So far it's looking good. It is not bad. And in my humble opinion, this is aligned with all these events that are about to unfold. There is a lot of them and they are very important. So right now, it's looking good. It's looking fantastic. We didn't have symmetry. Let me show you here. Symmetry is something very important because we can properly measure things. Okay, so as you guys can see, there is a little breach here, which means a marginal new high. And in here we still have a strong higher low. So far it's looking good. It is not bad at all. If we could measure this, actually we can, but I believe there is a little break here. Let me see if I can do this. Just give me a second, folks. Yeah, probably here. Yeah, probably. Okay, so this is the current average. It's not price, it's points. So the current average points for Dow Jones, and it's not bad at all. It's ascending. Of course, technical analysis here, it is not going to be the final word into the direction, structure, symmetry, whatever and whatever. Okay, so what we are doing, it's looking to fundamentals and then look into technical analysis. Because if you only look into technical analysis, the chances for us to be wrong, it's big. Okay, so first all the fundamentals, then technical analysis, then we have magic sometimes. So excuse me, it's looking good, really good, but we gotta wait to see how these events are going to unfold to have a better idea and see how the market it is going to respond. So this is the first step into the charts, Dow Jones, very important, and things are looking good. So here, there is no reason to be bearish, okay? And let's move on because by the end, you guys will have the whole picture ahead of you. And then you ask yourself, is this bullish or is this bearish? Because when you have two pictures to judge, even you're not knowing technical analysis, But the fact you have two options and you have to make a logical choice doesn't leave room for emotions. So there is no fear. And this is the beauty about technical analysis and then analyzing fundamentals. That's the beauty, folks. No emotions, logical choices, understanding. That's what we want. Okay? So, next, the Fed said that they're aiming to two cuts this year. The first one, it is going to start in September. And in September, we are going to have multiple events like raising debt ceiling, the new fiscal year, interest rates cut, the first, before the other is probably going to be in December. So we still have also a lot of things to do. And also Trump really want interest cuts. But there is a problem. If the Fed cut rates, even after good news on the tariff war, there is a delay. Okay, so for example, Trump, let's say he ended the war. There is no tariff war, everything's settled. But before this, we had a lot of goods parked and waiting for clarity. Some people had stocks. So first, all of it has to move before we have, let's say, new goods or services or commodities to go into this new, let's say, rail. Okay, so for example, tariff wars, it's one rail. No tariff wars, it's another rail. And both of them have different, let's say, moving to different numbers, or let's say tariffs. Okay, so that's why we have to wait a few months to see how it is going to happen, what is going to be the impact. So for example, the US GDP was forecasted to reach 1.7, but had declined to 1.4, and this is probably one of the consequences on this tariff war. Okay, so let's move on. All this being said, and again, if there is no tariffs war by September, and we had a cut, that's bullish into the short term, a few months. Okay, this may be aligned with a crash early 2026. I'm not 100% sure, but I made a forecast about this 5 years ago. So we are very close. We just don't know exactly in which month it is going to be. And right now we are at June, so right now, in my opinion, right now, there is nothing to fear. But we are going to take a look into all of it. Okay, so we just talked about interest rates cut. Just a second. Okay. Now let's take a look into the dollar index. Okay, so there is no news about the direction, and probably you guys remember a few weeks, maybe 1 or 2 months ago, I shared on X that the dollar would go down, euro would go up, GDP would, the British pound would go up, and a few other currencies. And we are in the right direction. It's unfolding right in front of our eyes. And a few days ago, I said that we were reaching a point of very little volatility in Dow Jones, and that a move would have to happen. And then Dow Jones went down just a little bit, which is enough to move the market and create room for more consolidation if this is the case, which is fantastic so far. So now, not now, forgive me. Before, back in the day, what I was looking into, and this is something that is very interesting, because so this is the break, okay, on the dollar index. Again, this is following all the fundamentals outside the charts. Here in the charts, we're seeing the consequences, okay? Remember, Trump, it's weakening the dollar, and he wants the dollar even weaker. Now, this is very interesting because he's always saying America first, America first, America this. But a better America, it's America with a stronger dollar. Because with a stronger dollar, your purchase power increases, it doesn't decrease. And a stronger dollar brings down inflation. It is true that it also hurt the economy, but it is a process that has to go through because otherwise deflation will take place and it is inevitable. Inevitable. So it's pretty wild how we can have America first with a weaker dollar. Well, I was expecting, folks, to be honest, and I was very, very concerned about this. I do know and I do understand that in an index or any index, it is rare, somewhat rare to find a perfect symmetry. Sometimes we get it, and when we get it, it's beautiful. It's fantastic to find the direction, targets, straight targets like I did in the past. It is great. But when we don't have, we play by the book. And when we play by the book these days, we got to think outside the box. What does it mean? It means that the market adjusted to the way that we do analysis, the way we see the fundamentals, and the trading methods that we have. We are going to talk about this in just a few minutes, so hang on. I was expecting here, to be honest, but it is not something that just because I'm expecting, it is going to happen. It is because it have a signature that leads to the thought of a possible scenario happening. Okay, so this is the dilemma with technical analysis, the reading of patterns, structures, fractals, whatever you want to call it. And but that's how it works. Okay, so I was thinking maybe we are going to see another incomplete setup, which could still happen. Could. So there is nothing fully developed. It's only 32% developed here, which it is not enough to make a solid judgment on how this is going to unfold. Forgive me, folks. So maybe I was thinking there is a little bit of room for the dollar to go up before crashing. What that would be? Could be something like this before the big one. But again, 32% doesn't make magic. It is not enough to make a judgment or a responsible call. Okay, because that's what we want. We want to be responsible and do the right thing, even when we are not completely certain about it. But we are working with incomplete information all the time. So this is it's tough. Okay, so there is room, but we don't know if it is going to happen. So we gotta wait. If the dollar goes up here, it's a small sign of strength, but I don't see it happening. I don't see any bullish event for the dollar right now when everything is all about weakening the dollar. You see? So this chart may suggest something that maybe it is not going to happen, and then you may get left behind. You see? So one way or the other, we know the direction. And for the dollar to be bearish, everything else has to be bullish. That's the mechanic of the markets. So this is the point when I want you guys to make a logical choice. This is something that is good for the markets, for equities, stocks, crypto, gold, etc. Is it good for them or is it bearish for them? Of course, it is bullish. So we have another bullish fundamental here. So is there any room to be scared? Of course not. It's a logical choice, right? So very, very soon, we don't know exactly when, but let's take a look on the next phone. If I'm not wrong, it's 19th of September. So If the dollar remains here and the markets keeping consolidation, it would be more 60 days or so, more than 60 days, right? Of consolidation, which in my opinion is it's almost impossible. So long into consolidation after the consolidation we are having right now doesn't make any sense and doesn't fit into the chart. Something gotta happen in between, up or down. It has to move. So yeah, we are very very close to this cut, and everybody knows that it is going to weaken the dollar. Okay, so now let's take a look into petrol because we have some news here. Okay. Before we get into today, okay. So this is the monthly. It's too little for you guys to see. This one is way, way better. Okay. So right here. So we had this, I talked about this not long ago. I shared on X if I'm not wrong, and also on the Champions Club. So just a quick reading here for you guys to follow the idea. We had a big surge, losers rally, we went down, straight bearish development, almost the same scenario as the dollar. Take a look here. We had the signature. Okay? We had it. And so it went down. But what I said was, folks, pay attention to the price of petrol because if Israel, the one in control first, if Israel and Iran are going to engage in a war, and then Iran decided to attack Israel, and Israel said, we are going to retaliate in time, when we want, the way we want, and nobody will see it coming. So it's happening right now. What I said was, if the Iran decides to close the Suez Canal, I believe it's Suez Canal, if it's right, the peninsula. Forgive me if I'm saying the wrong name. Then we would see a big surge into the price of petrol, right? And then I said, pay attention to this event. But in 1987, we had a operation. It was Fox. Just give me a second. I will try to find it because I shouldn't forget the name. Oh, Fox, just give me a second. I gotta find it. One moment, folks. I think I have it right here. Hold on. Okay, folks, I'm back. I found it. In 1987, the United States, forgive me, it's a second, folks. So in 1987, we had a US operation into that region, which was called Operation Nimble Archer 1987, which was the Iran tried to play and to control the canal. Also, if I'm not wrong, it was Operation Tanker or Operation Tanker 2. I really don't remember. But back in the day, I saw all the details about it. I even watched it on TV, but it was a long time ago. So please forgive me if I don't remember the details. So what the United States did, they made a operation to attack Iran. But they attacked Iran where it hurted the most, which was their oil production. And so, well, after a small time, the United States won, and then the Iranian regime had to fall, step back, and then everything was fine again. So, and you guys remember 3 years after we had the Gulf War, which was pretty interesting, the time frame of these events. So, moving on. I don't think they will try. If they try, it's a desperate move that is going to only to hurt the population, because if the regime will fall, be replaced, I don't know what's the proper word here. If they really want to hurt the country, the population, then they will try to shut down, because retaliation will be 100% confirmed that it will come. So they hurt people who have nothing to do with it, which is pretty coward. It is hard to say if they're going to or not. It's I don't know. It's pretty crazy, right? I just hope they don't. Aligning with this, we also had Trump asked Zelensky to stop bombing Russian oil facilities, depots, refineries, etc., etc. And then Ukraine stopped it. This is probably in advance before the US participation in the war in Iran. So all the news that we have right now is, oh, the United States is going to join. Oh, they are not going to join, but they joined it on the first day. That's the reality. So it's thrilling crazy, right? Truly crazy, forgive me. They say one thing to the public when they are doing something totally different. Why they can tell the truth? Oh, the public's not ready for the truth. Oh, then we are going out to live in a lie? Lying for the American public, it's put America first, or to put lies first. It is crazy. It's I don't know, folks. It's and please don't get me wrong. I did support Trump in the first term, and I really thought that he could do some justice in a fair way in his second term. But all I see is lies, lies, and a good person can be a liar. So yeah, okay. Following these events here, the war right now, everything that is going on, we gotta wait to see how this is going to unfold here, okay? Because this is going to be very, very interesting in the bigger picture. And by the way, remember the powers of pillar? No, the pillars of power. Forgive me. I said I call it the triad in the last video. Forgive me, folks. I'm still not 100%. So interest rates, the dollar, and the bonds, and I forgot the petrol, which runs in the dollar. We do know they move into the same direction because they are tied into the same fundamentals. They are impacted one by the other. So I saw one guy saying that probably bonds were about to have a bad time. And I don't think so. And we in the Champions Club have a forecast that bonds are going to soar. So we can see this in advance. Again, it doesn't mean that the way we see it is going to make the way things will happen. It is just evidence. So we are following evidence. Of course, things can change, but I don't believe this is one of them, those that can change into a small time frame. I don't see it happening. Okay, so always pay attention. Break things, split the markets, crypto, gold, stocks, equities, whatever, and then the dollar, interest rates, bonds, and petrol. Okay, so make a split. It's a mirror. Okay, for one to be bullish, the other has to be bearish. So on and on and on and on. Yeah, so just a moment. Right here. Right here. In the coming months, we are going to have the mother of all evidences if this is going to be bullish or bearish. And if this is going to be bullish, if we are going to have a signature, which I believe it may be unfolding the very beginning, then we will be able to be, I will be able to be very, very close to a straight call into, for example, when the crash will come, so we can adapt and plan in advance, which is something that we are doing for quite some time, to be honest. So let's move on. Now let's take a look into gold. Okay, here we are. We have gold. Oh, daily. Okay, let me tell you something. You guys remember when I shared this for gold that we would see big volatility probably on the second week, around 15, 17, if I'm not wrong, of June? Didn't happen. It didn't. But gold already went up, which means it broke from that, let's say, structure, and the ties to the volatility went up, but we still don't have volatilities in the market. Just like crypto, gold, stocks, they all of them are waiting, almost ready. It's like a volcano about to blow. But I don't know if the thing that is holding is Trump controlling the market with his card or whatever it means. I don't know, but it's set. It's there. Okay. Uh, One of the ways that we can see volatility is through, for example, volume or the size of candles or any volatility indicator. Okay, there are multiple ways. Also, how the market grind and it's low and people lose interest. It's a lack of volatility. So it's all together. Okay. So is gold looking good, bullish, or is it looking bad, bearish? It's looking good. It's looking bullish. So why should we be afraid? Because if things were bearish, gold would be bearish as well. And we would have a bearish signature right here. Okay. Just a second. Okay. Yeah. So there is nothing bad here at all. At all. We do know that we have a target for 4181, which is a step. In my humble opinion, it's probably going to um, way higher. If I'm not wrong, I talked about this, I shared, but if not, I will share what I believe it is going to be the target for gold in the coming days. Yeah, and then we go to the final stage, but soon, not today, not yet, is the time to talk about gold. Gold, 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 gold. Yes. Forgive me, folks, and my English is very, very rusty. So now we got to take a look into, just guess, Coinbase. Yes, I told you guys that Coinbase, it's a great indicator for the whole crypto market. And we are likely to see, for example, bullish activity on Coinbase, for example, Coinbase, Kraken, Bitstamp, Uphold, yeah. So the bigger ones, right? It's so we can see uh, evidence, bullish evidence in advance into these exchanges. And as we can see here, crypto went down, but Coinbase was going up. And this is a great, great sign. It's truly, truly great. Okay, let's take a look into the monthly. And do you guys know what this remember? Let me show you. Just give me a second. Okay, so it reminds me of Kava back in the day, which I made a call and it completely played up beautifully. So this is just for a quick reference, okay, something that I remember. So this whole structure here was this structure right here, if I remember. So let's take a look into it. Let's see if I'm right about this. Three days. So of course, it is not the same, but it is similar. So both born. Just a second, folks. Okay, so let's consider here. Okay, and it went down big time, as almost all new assets in the market does. And it went up for a little bit of consolidation here on the side, like a right shoulder, but not exactly one. So then a straight upside break. So let's take a look into possible targets here. And the only reason I remember Kava, it's because I was trading back in the day and I shared this. I even made videos. If I'm not wrong, we still haven't. Okay. Almost perfect. Almost perfect. I don't believe Coinbase is going to be the same, but can be wild. Okay, so right now 300. What we could expect? Of course, Kava is not the same as Coinbase. Okay, so this is just a reference. So there is little time, not a lot of time. So this scenario is it's totally different, even having a similar pattern. But again, here we had time, and Coinbase on this run doesn't have all this time. Okay. Oh, this is very interesting. Let's take a look here. June. It only went for the break around end of June. This is very, very interesting. And then it went all the way to, yeah, half August, which is the expected. Yeah. Okay. So now just a second, folks. Okay, folks, so now we have to ask ourselves, after all this information, all these things together, it is fair to say that we are in a bullish environment or in a bearish one. We can have both. It is just one or the other. Okay, so right now we're taking a look into Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a risky asset. And so it's interesting that even Brad Garlinghouse said that he believes that the target for Bitcoin on this run, it is going to be $200,000. And it is very, very close to a target that I shared in my forecast that I recorded months and months ago. So, is it bullish or bearish? Even if this were not clear, we can assume it's also not bearish. Why? Because at this moment, we don't have bearish evidence. We don't. So without bearish evidence, how can we be bearish? The only possible way would be through fear, which fear is built on top of something that doesn't exist. So why people are afraid? Why people are bearish? If there is reason to be, okay, but not based on fear, but based on danger. Danger is real. Fear is not. And what we have here is it is not a dangerous scenario. Could be not clear, but it's not dangerous yet. Okay? Let's go closer. Okay. At the time I am recording, and I'm going to go closer. So at the time I'm recording this, Bitcoin is still looking bullish. Okay? This is not an opinion. It's based on what we can see in two fronts. First front, fundamentals outside of the charts. Everything that we just talked about, things are looking good. Then what we can see into the charts, is it bullish or is it bearish? It is not up for a opinions. It is just a fact. It is one thing or it is the other. And right now I can tell you that this is bullish. It is not bearish at all. Okay, I'm going to show you. And it is very, very similar with XRP around the 50 cents. Not the same thing, but almost. Okay, so here we are. It's bullish, a bullish picture so far. Not fully developed? No. We have 16, 32, 48% developed. Very close post 50%, which is, it is looking good so far. Okay. Another thing, folks, that I like to recommend to all of you is to use this tool right here. It's called volume delta. Okay. What is volume delta? It is just a way to look into volume. Okay. There is nothing special, but there is a big difference when compared with just volume. Okay. Because when we look into volume, there are some things that are crystal clear. Okay. So for example, here we can see a decline into buyers activity, also sellers activity, and volatility, right? There is a decline of volatility, interest, but buyers volume is still is on top, who's in control. Okay. But when we take a look into the delta, we can have a much better let's say a better visual experience because we have it splitted, right? So we have for example the green separated from the red, and then we can see when there is a big empty body, we can see the tails, right? So there is a rejection. Okay, we can see a rejection. So for example, here we can make the same exercise, which is from top of activity, the first one, the bigger ones. Okay, now let's go for the ones in between. Okay, now let's take a look into the sellers activity. And then you're going to understand what I'm doing here. Okay, so based on this, I'm just making it in a way that you guys can look and have a better visual experience to have a much better understanding. We have more aggression, volume, and interest on the buyer side than what we have into the seller side, as we can see here right now. Of course, I can see this without drawing the lines. I believe you guys can too, but first you may look for the highs and the lows, and then you go uh, observing it getting tighter, tighter, and tighter. I believe this is the word in English, tight, tighter, tight, or tight and tight and tight. Forgive me. Yeah, so it is just one of the ways to see this, but yeah, and also volume. Uh, aside the perpetual setup, volume is probably the best indicators of all. If we can properly read it, it's truly fantastic. And I wasn't using this one here before, only a few times, because it really hurts my eyes. It really does. For me, it's completely awful. I barely can see it, and when I can see, it hurts my sight. And then volume delta, it's a big deal. Okay, so it seems it was developed by TradingView. So thanks to TradingView for this. Yeah. Okay. Bitcoin looking good so far. There is nothing to worry, in my opinion, based on all these things, these facts that we can see. Let's move on to XRP. Okay, let's go, folks. So XRP, there is little change since the last time I recorded a video. Okay, the head and shoulders people are probably going crazy because once again, they said XRP would collapse after this move right here, which wasn't a head and shoulders, just like this one here wasn't a head and shoulders as well. And notice how this one here played out. Exactly like this one here, it's playing as well. So let's do this once again. And then I'm going to explain to you guys what is going on. This is what people called head and shoulders back in the day. Then we had two sets of pivots on the side, which invalidated the head and shoulders. We had the two upside moves that end up rejected more than 100%. And then we went down. Not a big time and not a target for a possible head and shoulders. Okay, so all of it by itself, it's bullish news. Okay, because it's a fake bear. It is a kind of move that will attract people perception by those who play by the book. Oh, this is a head and shoulders, so here's the target. And then maybe they try to sell and may end up in a trap, which their target, it is not going to happen. And then they end up in a really, really bad spot, which is very bad for them, sadly. Now, what we have here, take a look. Oh, and by the way, this is the inverted head and shoulders that I mentioned, followed by a head and shoulders. This, folks, it's crazy. Yes, but we are trying to adapt already. I'm doing my homework, and soon, very soon, I expect to crack this because there is a way for everything, and I'm working. So let's say the first hard work was to spot this change in behavior because this is nuts, truly nuts. Okay, and then we are going to make a tool or find a method or rules for engagement into those scenarios. And I am also working to something that is probably going to change the way the average Joe, like me, will approach the markets. So it's probably going to be something like the ultimate contrarian method. Okay, so what I'm trying to achieve into this study, it's for people to completely give up on their emotions and thrive into hopeless scenarios. So, for example, people are happy when markets are on green. Okay, fine enough. But what we want, it's people to be extremely happy when things are completely horrible, because that's when we have opportunities. You see? So it's more than a mindset methodology. Okay? It is nothing new, but I believe the way we can engage into this can change our perspective, the way we see the world, for example. And it is something that I hope I can deliver, I can create. So another set of head and shoulders, possible head and shoulders. This is a trap for sure. Then we had two sets of pivots right here, then another one right here. And I think there is room for one more downside move, because people will see, oh, a head and shoulders, I gotta sell this. I will sell now, I will buy back, and then I will have more. It's a trap. It's a trap. And also by doing this, this whole weirdness of structures, this mix of this is a Frankenstein. This is crazy. The main goal here, first, is to buy time because the markets are not ready. Second is to create liquidity pools for big guys to jump in. Okay, as you guys know, they don't buy the high, they buy the low. And to buy the low, they need a lot of liquidity, a lot, because otherwise they're going to buy anything that is going to print massive candles. So they make their own opportunities. Okay, so once again, a fake head and shoulders followed by two sets of pivots, inverted head and shoulders. Ooh, whoa, a bottom reversal, which can be. And I strongly believe if we go down from here, because we have a flat structure, and also the way to acknowledge, to address flat structures already changed. Remember every time that I said it's flat, it's bad? Now we see flat often and often and often and often. That's one of the reasons I said to you guys in the last video, don't share it. You see? Well, fine enough. So here we have a flat structure. Perfect trap. If we are to go down, it is most likely going to be higher low. Strong higher low, very strong. If this was a true head and shoulders, the target, for example, would be, let me see, around here. Could even be, let's say, double bottom, marginal, a higher low, but it is not going to play out. It is not. Forgive me, folks. Okay. There are many ways to look into this, but let's go with this one here. So we have bullish development in the bigger picture. What is the bigger picture? Is this whole period here of consolidation, which this is consolidation. It's what is the best kind of structures for consolidation scenarios? Are the ones who keep on the side. This is the best scenario we could have, but sometimes it is not enough to create proper room for correction, consolidation, and continuation. Triple C. So the ones that descend but that are not so aggressive, for example, XRP right here, it's descending. So we had upside, correction, consolidation, continuation. Right now we are still in consolidation. Why? The markets are not ready yet. But we are very, very close to a very, very powerful move. And now I ask you guys, what we have here, it's something that is bullish that we can see, or it is something bearish that we can see. The logical conclusion is, the logical choice, it is a macro bull, which means in the bigger picture, it is going to be bullish. But in the small picture, the one that doesn't matter, will be bearish. So you see? And this kind of behavior right here that you guys can see, this one in specific, it's unique. It's the first time I see this after 75,000 hours since 2017 doing this for a living every day. Is the first time. And this is a change. This is not coincidence, okay? Because Ethereum went crazy as well. More than 5 head and shoulders one after the other. And this is something new, folks. Again, it is not coincidence. Fake people, make people mistake with something that is fake. It is going to create the perfect liquidity pools for whales or institutions or whatever, or even for ETF funds. It does create liquidity for them. So it is not a lack of liquidity the way things are moving. No. We are having a lack of volume, which is something completely normal in consolidation scenarios. Let me show you here. We are going to take a look into volume delta. Right here, take a look. On the way up, we had a lot of volume. But before, we had little volume. You see? Big volume, then volume starts to do what? It starts to decrease. Because we have what? Correction, which is strong. Then we have consolidation, which is slow, steady and slow. And then we have continuation, which is the break into the direction following the trend, which is something bullish. Okay, and if we can take a look here, it is fair to say that from this period of time here to this one right here, we had some seller's volume, or let's say it was very considerable. Okay, I believe it's the proper word. After this, we have buyers in control. We have buyers. I mean, through all this period, buyers are in control. Okay, but we could see more volume coming from the seller side, which is not enough to break the consolidation. Consolidation is a range. Okay, as we can see here, XRP is descending, and not in a bearish way, like it create a loser's rally, bearish with tracements, which is small upside moves in this case. So the trend, it's playing out. Correction, it's playing out. Consolidation, buyers in control. So I ask you again, do we have a bullish picture or a bearish picture? It's bullish. It is not bearish at all. So why would we be bearish? You see? Now let's take a look into, oh, and by the way, if we address sets of pivots here, do you know what this means? This means we're heading to the very end, because we are after 64% development. Very, very close. Very. Now let's take a quick look, just a quick look into XLM. Yes. Okay, here we are, XLM. Okay, so in the bigger picture, we already talked about XLM. Oh, we won't be able to see here. Okay, fantastic, perfect, great. Just like XRP was before 55 cents break. Oh, Coinbase also have it. Oh, this is great, truly great. Let's go here into, I don't want the weekly. I want the daily. Okay, so the first step that we had here on the triple C, correction. Oops. Now we are having what? Consolidation. What is going to be the next step? Continuation. Very, very soon. I'm not saying is going to happen exactly right here, but those are the steps. And I ask you again, is this bullish or is this bearish? Logical decisions, folks. There is no reason to jump into or rely into emotions. It is not necessary. We don't have it. Bearish pictures. Because if we had, I would be the first to jump in sell and tell you guys. You guys remember, I bought a lot of XLM from this range to this range right here, which was when I sold my dream car, and all of it, it's on XLM. I am afraid. I'm not afraid at all. Not at all. Not a single thing. Because I do know what is happening. I don't know exactly how it is going to unfold. But right now, I know exactly what is going on. This is consolidation. And very, very soon, it is going to blast to the upside. Unless there is something completely out of the box that no one could see. Like, I hope it never happens. And yeah, I hope God can protect us. Like a nuke event. That would be catastrophic, but also out of the blue. Nobody can make analysis expecting such a thing to happen, right? But yeah, I hope God protect all of us. So, consolidation. Now let's take a quick look here on the delta. Yes. Okay. So, this one is even clearer than others. We have bulls in control. We have good volume, which this is stealth buyers pressure. Okay. Probably 95% of all of it are, let's say, institutional level or kind so, or big whales, whatever you want to call it. The average Joe participation, I would say, between 5 and 15% max. Okay, so it is the big guys creating a opportunity for them. So it's wealth transfer, in other words. Okay, so we wouldn't have been all this big buyers volume and pressure if we had something that would be bearish instead of bullish. Okay, so this is it's kind of mind games, folks. Okay, there will be someone speaking, telling you, oh, take care, This is not looking good. Hey, uh, it's don't do this, you know. Uh, it's a fear situation. And in the other side, you have something solid telling you, look into the fundamentals, look into the fundamentals, look into evidence, look into numbers, look into the logical conclusion, make the proper judgment. It's harder. The only side it's to only listen. It's easier. And then once again, we come to that dilemma. Hard choices, easy life. Easy life, hard choices. It's simple as that, folks. And this is the kind of moment that we are in a situation of hero or zero, but we are not gamblers. The struggle of visionaries is that they see the whole process, and the whole process is painful. But that's where it is the big rewards, where the treasury is. It's hard. It's hard. It's really hard. So, for example, just one example. You spend 1 month digging a hole every single day. And then you ask for a guy to help you. And he say, oh, no, this is too painful. It is not for me. Okay, thank you. And you keep working. Then you find a big rock of gold. A big one, a big chunk. And then you will need help. So you are first going to pick that big one and you're going to hide and move that away in safety. Then there will be something smaller and you are already feel rich and you want to work less because you already achieved what you wanted. So you're going to ask the guy and he is going to see a little rock and you can say, well, I can split with you or 1/3 if you do the work for me. I will tell you how to do it, jump here, do the work, 1/3 is yours. The guy will say, whoa, amazing, I want that. Just one small piece, which, I mean, it's still a lot of money, but I believe you guys got the idea, right? So we are going to work hard, we are going to suffer, we are going to see all of it in advance. It is not going to be easy at all. We are going to make a lot of sacrifices, and I can tell you, I sacrificed everything that you guys can even imagine. And I've made it so far. And I'm still alive because I have purpose. And once I achieve my goals and my purpose, then I will tell you guys that I can rest. One way or the other. Briefing or not briefing. But I have a purpose. If I will be able to achieve it, God knows. God knows. I don't know. But I have a purpose. And all of us, we need a purpose in life because otherwise, we are just spending air. And that's not a way to live. You understand? So, who are you? Did you ever figure out who are you? Because you are a unique being. Unique. There is nobody else there who is like you. And you are not going to be like anybody out there. But in your way, and in my way, and in other ways, we are unique. For unique situations, we need unique strategies. Don't follow a trend. Be the trend. You can be the trend in your life. Don't follow others. That's why I don't want people to do exactly what I do. I want people to see what is out there. Not through others' lenses, but through your lenses. Okay? Once again, folks, purpose. It is. So, for example, purpose without will, it's nothing. And will without purpose, it's nothing as well. Knowing who you are without purpose or will also not help you. So do this one step at a time, but be fast because we don't have a lot of time. This I'm 100% sure. We don't have it. We don't even know if we will be briefing tomorrow. Okay, so think about all these things, work hard, And we are in the right path. We are. Because otherwise, I would be the first to come here and tell you guys that things are just bad. But it is not. It is not the case. Okay? So, yeah, I believe it is all. Another thing, so from time to time, there's people looking to join the Champions Club. But I do understand that for those people who are outside the dollar, the British pound, and the euro, it's very expensive because the native currency sometimes is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 to 1 against the dollar. And the Champions Club price, it's priced in US dollars. Okay, so this is something that I was planning to do a long time ago, and but I was trying to find a way. Now we found a way. So, for example, if you live, for example, in a country that your currency is 3 or 4 to 1 to the dollar, we are going to give you, for example, a 40% discount. Okay, proof of residence will be required, and don't try to cheat, because if you do, you will be banned. We want good people with us, not liars, not cheaters. Okay, we want to be surrounded with good people. Yeah, so you can send me a direct message on X, or you can write a inquiry on the Champions Club website, which the admin it is going to answer you guys. And yeah, so the whole process can unfold in a very safe way. You guys don't have to share all the details. Please, we want safety. We don't share all the details. Only enough information to confirm residence, your country. Okay, so we can identify the divergence between your local currency and the dollar to give you the discount. Okay, so yeah, I believe this can help you, can help many people. Back in the day, sadly, I didn't have this kind of thing available. And I know how it feels because I was in this spot back in the day in 2016, 17. And I know how hard it is. Wanting to do something, but you can. So you have the will, but you don't have the means. It's not easy, right? I know. I know. Yeah. So yeah. Or for more information, just ask me, and I will be more than happy to help you guys. Okay. So folks, I hope this video helped you guys in one way or the other. So please remember, what we have is bullish or it is bearish. Don't be a bear without reason. Don't be emotional over something that should be logical. Don't be. Unless we have proof. But right now, we don't have. Rest in peace. Do your work hard, find your purpose, and know who you are. And you guys are going to thrive beyond what you can even imagine. Okay? So guys, thank you. Thank you very much. I do appreciate you guys, all your messages, the kind of messages, the likes, everything. I do appreciate everything you guys been doing. I also really appreciate the support from you guys on Patreon. Thank you very much. And we have a lot of things to do, right? So smash the like button, share it for friends, subscribe, ring the bell, all this stuff. And let's keep doing our thing, because this fight, this struggle, it is not over yet. We still have a lot to overcome, and we are getting very close. Don't stop. Don't. Okay? So guys, thanks again. I will see you guys soon. Stay safe and see ya.